Good evening to you and welcome to another edition of Electricity Town Hall, a program being sponsored by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC), aimed at keeping consumers of electricity abreast of happenings in the nation's power sector. This program comes your way every Monday on the network service of Radio Nigeria at 7 o'clock in the evening. NERC is the regulator for the nation's power sector, interfacing with electricity generation companies known as GENCOs, the transmission companies of Nigeria (TCN), and the distribution companies (DISCOs). I'm David Umur Yoranka. The Nigerian electricity supply industry (NESI) is the framework for electricity generation, transmission, and distribution in Nigeria. It's a critical sector that plays a vital role in Nigeria's economic development, fueling industries and improving the standard of living. However, the NESI faces ongoing challenges such as providing reliable and affordable power to a growing population. One area that has remained critical has been the distribution sector, where consumers are given electricity and in turn required to pay for services rendered. Owing to issues surrounding electricity supply, consumption, bills, electricity theft, and consumer protection, the federal government has introduced several initiatives geared towards protecting the consumer, while also providing the investor the enabling environment to get returns on their investment. Today, we will be looking at the customer protection and redress mechanisms, rights and obligations of electricity customers, and to what extent are customers aware of their obligations and how much is being done in this regard. These and more will be interrogated tonight on Electricity Town Hall as we look at customer protection in the Nigerian electricity supply industry (NESI). And we have in the studio Senior Manager, Stakeholder Management Division of NERC, Chinedu Ayigo. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Also, we have a regulatory officer from the Legal Licensing and Compliance Division of the Commission, Tare Laifa Prayer. Welcome to our studio for the program also.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
I'll start with you, Chinedu.
Great.
Can you highlight on what rights are and how they apply to customers in the Nigeria electricity supply industry?
Thank you, Mr. David.
You're welcome.
So, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, as independent regulator for Nigerian power sector, develop a framework to ensure that customers who receive service from distribution companies receive quality service and ensure that their rights are protected. So this we did through introning several instruments. Majority of them is the Customer Protection Regulation, which encapsulates all the rights and obligations of customers and provide comprehensive guide on how customers can go about addressing issue. Because it's also very important that customers know that this is a service, and in a service-oriented environment, there are bound to be dispute or dissatisfaction. And so the Customer Protection Regulation provide a comprehensive guide on how all issues of such will be addressed.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me hear from the view of a legal officer now.
Okay, so I will start with laying the foundation with the Electricity Act, particularly Section 119, which mandates the Commission to develop customer service standards. And so we established the Customer Protection Regulation, which provides a clear standard for quality of electricity service and supply, and as well customer complaints resolution procedures. And as a commission, we also have obligations under Servicom, which is an initiative of the federal government to promote effective and efficient service delivery in MDAs. And because we are compliant and we adopt best practices, the Commission has a service delivery charter providing consumer rights and obligations regarding the provision and use of electricity service. And some of these rights, if I may go into them, includes right to transparent electricity billing, right to be notified ahead of disconnection, right to refund when overbilled. Also, every customer have rights, to file complaints and to prompt investigation of those complaints. If you have been billed incorrectly, you have the right to contest any electricity bill. And as a customer, please, let me make this very clear. You are not expected to pay for replacement of infrastructural items like transformers, poles, and other electricity equipment, as it is strictly the responsibility of DISCOs.
Nice of you to say that. And you said something about rights. Tell me about the compliance level of these rights. How have the consumers, how have they accessed these rights?
Okay, thank you for that question. Now, the Commission is very keen on implementation of the rights that I've just mentioned. And so from time to time, we engage town hall meetings for customer enlightenment, education on their rights so they can seek redress when necessary.
Okay, Mr. Aingo, you are within the stakeholder management division. How much of these rights do customers know?
The Commission in its effort to ensure that, because of course you should know that some of these rights were actually developed in consultation with the customers. All right, so before we have any regulation in place, we go into the process of public hearing. We do consultation with customers and even the distribution company as well. So those rights have been displayed, in the process of consultation. Those rights have been also communicated in various media houses, in various channels, and even in our, like my colleague just mentioned, in our town halls, physical town hall, not the radio town hall, in our individual town halls, where we go to various,
physical interaction.
Yes, so those things are highlighted, and customers are made to understand. The Commission have even gone ahead to develop Customer Bill of Rights that encapsulates all the rights and as well the obligation. And I'm surprised they are not asking about the obligation, because when you have rights, you have obligation. Yes, so it's very important that the customers know that, yes, you have all these rights. Like my colleague mentioned, right for prompt investigation, right for the connection of your supply in event that you had issue of default in payment and you have not made the payment, you have right to be reconnected. When you have all those rights, you also have an obligation. And those obligations are very key, because that is what prompts them to give you those services when you're obliged and comply with certain procedures that have been set. And principal among them, you're obligated to pay your bills. You're expected to ensure that installation within your premises are not tampered with.
Okay.
All right? It's also expected that at the end of every month, unless you're using a prepaid meter, it is obligated on you to request for your bill in the event that the distribution company did not issue a bill. It's expected of you to contact the distribution company and say, hey, I've not received my bill for this month.
Okay.
All right. So, like I tried to highlight, the importance of this obligation is as important as a right.
Let's talk about some of the redress mechanism of the Commission. Over to you, Vera.
Okay. So, electricity customer, if you want to make a complaint regarding services, your first point of contact should be your service provider, which is a distribution company that is providing electricity to you. And you're supposed to file your complaints with the customer complaints unit of the distribution company. And after doing that, any customer dissatisfied with the outcome of that process can actually escalate to the forum office. And if you have gone to the forum office and you are still not satisfied, then you can contact NERC to resolve the complaint. And I would also like to add that a number of issues have been resolved through this process. So please try this method and don't just assume that things are not working in this part of the world. Customers who bring their complaints to us often leave, with a transformed view of government offices, largely because of how quickly and effectively we resolve their issues.
While you were talking, you mentioned a particular department that I saw Mr. Chinedu nodding to more like in approval. Speak more to that, forum office especially.
Okay, so the complaint redress mechanism of the Commission is very key, because it establishes step-by-step approach to getting every issue sorted out, all right? And it starts from when the occurrence of the complaint, all right? So when an issue occurs that you as a customer are not satisfied, you're expected to contact your service provider which is the distribution company closest to you. All right, so you're expected to make that contact in writing, not oral, unless you are illiterate. And it's also expected, if you are illiterate, if you get to the customer service unit of the distribution company, you inform them, they will record their complaint, and then you're expected to thumbprint. All right?
Okay.
After recording it, they will read what they have recorded on your behalf, and then if you're in agreement with that, you thumbprint. And then the complaint are expected to last, the resolution process period is 15 working days. All right? So after 15 working days, if they are not able to resolve it, or they resolve it and they are not satisfied, you now move to our forum office. Of course, we have forum offices across the country. So at the forum office, it's expected that you address your complaint to the presiding member of the forum. All right? And then the forum secretary, who is administrative head of the office, will receive the complaint and process. The complaint is expected to be resolved within 60 days at the forum office. Again, if you are not satisfied after the resolution at the forum, you now expected to escalate it to the NERC headquarters in form of appeal, and that have to be done within 10 days.
Okay.
Again, it's important because when we mention forum, it's important we explain who are the forum members. And so that's how the commission take the issue of transparency. So we make sure that those who constitute the forums are an unbiased people who have nothing to do with the commission or to do with the distribution company. So they represent the segment of Nigerian society. And so in making sure that those members were selected from a credible organization, the commission, in line with its power, develop a procedure for appointing the forum members. And those procedures are encapsulated, and then introduced into the customer protection regulation. And so the forum members are appointed from reputable, societies in Nigeria. Chiefly of them is Nigerian Bar Association. We have a member. We have Nigerian Society of Engineers. We have Federal Competition and Protection Council, FCCPC. We have Nigerian Chamber of Commerce. We have an NGO that operates within the locality of that forum. So the 5 men part-time members are meant to be independent. Most of them have never met each other. Most of them have never even been to the forum. Most of them have never even met even any of our colleagues that serve as forum secretary. So the whole essence is to make sure they are independent, they are unbiased, that what the view they hold reflect the view the people outside the commission hold, but of course, reflect transparent and honest and sincere decision. Yes.
Reflecting transparency coming from Chinedu Ayigo of the Stakeholder Management Division of NERC. You're listening to Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria, a program being sponsored by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. And we're talking about customers' right within the Nigerian electricity supply industry. We will go on a short break, and when we return, we will be looking at how accessible these forum offices are to the rural dwellers. Stay tuned.
This is Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria. We will be back shortly.
Electricity thief na when person tap light wey no be own, connect illegal wire, tamper with meter or bypass light sef. See electricity thief fit make transformer blow. E dey spoil equipment wey dey use electricity. E dey make electricity regulators dem dey increase tariff, so dey fit solve the wahala when dis electricity thief dey cause. E dey also cause accident wey fit kpai person, and if dem catch you, na jail be that o, and na 3 years at least na you go cool off for there, or you go pay fine, or make e be say you pay fine and still go jail sef. No thief light o, no kpai yourself, make you no make other people sef suffer. You fit stop this one right now. Report electricity thief to your disco. This message na from the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. NERC, make light for the day.
We are back with Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria.
Thanks for staying with us. We're back. It's still Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria, and we're discussing customer protection in the Nigerian electricity supply industry, and we're looking at customer protection and redress mechanisms, rights and obligations of electricity customers. We have been speaking with a senior manager, stakeholder management division of NERC, Chinedu Aigo. Thanks once again for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Also, the lady in the house is the regulatory officer from the Legal Licensing and Compliance Division of the Commission, Tariola Yefa Prayer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
Okay, continuing from where we stopped about the state forum offices, how accessible are they? Because I understand that these forum offices are state-based. Yeah, state-based forum offices. How accessible are they to customers in rural areas?
Okay, so the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, in line with its power, have established about 33 forum offices across Nigeria. These forum offices are located at the state capital of every state. And so it's expected that customers should be able to access the state capital. Also, the forum offices have email address and phone number. And all our offices, every staff of the commission, every offices of the commission have dedicated email address. And those are functional email address, not like a regular government office. All right. So customers send in their complaints or appeal via emails. Customers also send in their complaints via text message. We send also via WhatsApp and even phone calls. So the Commission made elaborate provision to ensure that customers who have genuine reason to reach out to the Commission have access to the Commission. And so before this time, all right, before 2024, okay, the Commission have 33 forum offices, like I mentioned. But because of the EA, Electricity Act 2023, some of the states have actually moved out of the Commission regulatory purview, and therefore, some of those, all the states that have moved out of the Commission regulatory purview, the forum offices have been closed down. All right.
Okay.
However, the states have made provision to ensure continuous customer support and complaint resolution in their respective states, in line with the provision of Electricity Act 2023.
Okay, in line with that, tell us about the establishment of call centers by the Commission to enhance visibility as well as also to ensure timely resolution of complaints from electricity customers across the nation.
Sorry, just before you go to call center, let me add, in case you are listening to this and you're wondering, can someone file a complaint on my behalf? Just so you know, the CPR, which is a Customer Protection Regulation, allows for a registered non-governmental organization or consumer organization to file a complaint on your behalf.
Or like a third party?
Yes, all you need is just the written mandate that you've mandated this person to represent me, and you can go ahead to file with the forum office. And yeah, regarding call center, you can call the call center at 090-889-99244 or send an email to complaints@nerc.gov.ng. And now, if you're wondering, I don't know how to speak English, there's no problem, because it allows you to choose the language of your choice, whether English, Hausa, Igbo, or Yoruba. And also, the NERC call center is more like the process for customers to lodge their complaint, and then we record it and forward it to the specific DISCO, since they're generally responsible for the initial resolution of service related concerns. And then we also follow up with the customer to know if their issue has been resolved, and if your complaint isn't addressed by the DISCO in a timely manner, or if you're unhappy, with their response, the NERC call center will then escalate your case to the internal NERC department for further assessment and action.
Thank you so much for that apt information about third-party involvement. Mr. Chinedu, more to add on the call center?
Yeah, so in addition to what my colleague just mentioned, so the Commission, in its wisdom, ensuring that they have an overview of complaints, that comes to the Commission, establish a contact center. And those contact centers receive work between 8 to 12 every day, except Saturday and Sunday. And then, in addition to that, the call centers record all complaints that come to the contact center, and of course forward to every distribution company before close of day on daily basis.
Okay,
so we make sure we track every complaint that comes to the call center. And of course, the Commission have also gone even ahead to make sure that establish, a penalty in the event that distribution companies were not able to resolve complaints that come through the contact center. Yes.
I'm talking about penalties. What steps does the Commission take when a DISCO's negligence leads to accidents or electrocutions?
Whenever there is accident, the DISCO is actually required to report the incident to the Commission. And we have health and safety code, which require DISCO to send a preliminary report to the Commission of all accidents in its area of operation, which results in substantial damage to equipment, loss of life or injury to human beings within 74 hours of its occurrence, followed by a detailed report within 4 weeks. So for every accident, the Commission usually carries out investigation within 20 days to examine, the infrastructure, the maintenance record, the operational procedures, and also gather eyewitness accounts. And now, if a DISCO is found to be negligent, usually we issue orders and we impose sanctions. And this can include fines. We can, penalize the DISCO. We can also direct the DISCO to carry out compensation to the family of the deceased family or the injured victims. And also we take out remedial action. So DISCOs are typically ordered to rectify the identified safety defects. And they may also be required to support maybe like work plans that would correct, that issue that they had. Also monitoring and reporting. We closely monitor their health and safety performance and require them to, submit regular reports on incidents and their accident reduction strategies. Now, most times the common areas of negligence is, failure to maintain electrical equipment. So you see deteriorated poles, you see worn out conductors, and sometimes non-functional, circuit breakers, and just inadequate safety measures for accessible equipment. Like for example, you see an unlocked substation, unsecure feeder pillars, and all manner of negligence acts.
And talking about these protections and rights, how is NERC promoting awareness of these rights and protection among rural and low literacy communities, Mr. Chinedu?
The Commission is promoting safe uses of electricity, and that's why in many distribution companies they have enlightenment campaign on monthly basis, on quarterly basis, and yearly basis. All right. So, and the Commission made it compulsory that issue of health and safety must bring to forefront, and it's expected that, which we monitor. My own very unit is overseeing that, so we receive the report of all the enlightenment, the topic, the pictures, and everything that went on there, to ensure that those informations were passed to the customer and to make sure that there is a feedback mechanism to say that these customers actually understand the implication of not listening to the health and safety tips and all the other information that are provided during those campaigns.
All right, Mr. Chinedu, Let me ask you this. How do service standards of performance for electricity services in Nigeria apply? Can you educate Nigerians on this?
Okay, the service standard of performance of electricity services in Nigeria is actually developed to ensure an excellent service for electricity customers. So the standards provide timeline for resolution of complaints. For instance, if you report to your service provider to say, my supply, I don't have supply, so it's expected of the distribution company to visit your premises to ascertain what is the cause of the outage. So, for instance, if the cause is as a result of faulty fuse, so it's expected of the distribution company to restore it, repair, and restore supply to that premises within 24 hours.
And if they don't do this, the customer has the right to escalate the issue.
To escalate to the commission, yes. So also the service standard also provide for other major faults, so which are beyond the fuse, like other major instruments like the isolator, the GMP, and all that.
Oh, those are very technical. And
So the standard is to ensure that service disruption are minimized.
Nigerians, I hope you just use all of the mechanisms, the redress mechanisms that has been reeled out. Please, Mr. Chinet, let me bother you with the number before we go again. Just call that out.
So the number is 013-4443-31. The second number is 090-88-999-244. And the email address is complaints@nerc.gov.ng.
Thank you so much, Abuja. This is where we end today's edition of Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria. And I've been speaking with the Senior Manager, Stakeholder Management Division of NERC, Chinedu Ayigo. Once again, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for having us.
And also a regulatory officer from the Legal Licensing and Compliance Division of the Commission, Tarilayefa Preo.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciation to the production team, studio manager Phineas Odoyo, facilitator Conrad Labe, producer Sunday Goche, special thanks executive producer Nsoshi Maki. I'm David Umoru. See you next Monday for another interesting edition of Electricity Town Hall. Goodbye.